All right, everybody. Again, my name is James. I'm a video production specialist here at Videoguys. If you have any questions about anything that we go over today, please feel free to put down a comment down below on either Facebook or YouTube, or feel free to give us a call at 800-323-2325. So today we're going to be talking about Atomos's monitors and recorders. We're also going to be talking about their new light too, the Shun Dragon. So to start off the show, we wanted to talk about their newest monitors and recorders that were actually announced, I believe, last year, including the Ninja Ultra, Shogun, and Shogun Ultra, as well as the Atomos Connect, which is compatible with the Ninja Ultra, and then also the previous generation, the Ninja 5 and the Ninja 5 Plus. That gives those devices the ability to do the Connect features. So the first thing that we want to talk about today is the Ultra promotion, which is a promotion where you can get $150 off of the Ninja Ultra and $200 off of the Shogun Ultra, basically from now until October 31st, which is my favorite day of the year. So we thought that it would be good to go over why you would want to take advantage of this opportunity and get the Ultra devices at a reduced price. So the first thing is, of course, the Ninja Ultra and the Shogun Ultra can record at both higher frame rates and higher resolutions compared to the base model Ninja and base model Shogun. So as you can see here, the Ninja Ultra and the Shogun Ultra can record up to 8K 30 FPS, 6K at 60 FPS, and 4K at 120 FPS with 1080 Full HD up to 240 frames per second, compared to the Ninja being able to record at 6K 30, 4K 60, and Full HD at 120 frames per second. So as you can see right off the bat, just getting those higher frame rates and resolutions is worth it if you are going to get a camera that is compatible to do that. You know, if you're looking at a camera that is 6K or 8K compatible, of course, you're going to want to get a monitor and a recorder that can get the most out of your camera. Now, just because you're shooting at 8K doesn't mean that you're exporting at 8K. Usually when you are recording at such a high high resolution, you're using that to be able to, in post-production, be able to digitally zoom in if, you know, let's say there's a shadow on the wall that you want to get rid of, or a boom mic drops into it. Now you are able to record at a higher resolution, zoom in, and then export at a lower resolution without losing any resolution. It's a lossless digital zoom, as they like to say. And then, of course, who doesn't like being able to record at high frame rates? You know, if you're doing anything that's sports related, or a lot of the times commercials, you want to be able to record at a higher frame rate. So being able to record again at 4K, 120 frames per second, and then being able to digitally zoom into that image and export at, let's say, 2K or 1080 and not lose any resolution is just a pro for everybody, a plus for everybody, I should say. The next thing is the Ninja and the Shogun are compatible with all of the codecs available from Atomos, including ProRes, RAW, ProRes, DNx HR, DNx HD. All of those are available on the base models, but it is an added fee. So if you wanted to be able to use all of the codecs that are available, if you get the Ninja Ultra or the Shogun Ultra, all of those codecs are included, and at both 8-bit and 10-bit HEVC right out of the box. And so that is just another reason to go with the ultras of these devices. The next thing is, again, dual recording. The common theme that you're going to be hearing throughout these is that the base model can do these things, but the ultras are able to do it at a higher frame rate and a higher resolution. So if you don't know what dual recording is, that's basically where you take your high resolution file, you know, you want to be able to record in ProRes or ProRes RAW at, you know, let's say 4K 30, but you're not going to edit your whole video at 4K 30 with that high res video. So what you want to do is you want to have a proxy file to do your edits with. And in the past, you would have to convert your high res to proxy files to be able to edit them. And so, long story short, you edit your proxy files until you have a picture lock, which is going to be much less taxing on your editing system. And then you can substitute or replace those proxy files with your full res files, and it will keep all of your timestamps. And then you do your coloring on the full res um, or hero quality files. And again, the Shogun Ultra and the Ninja Ultra are able to do that at a higher frame rate and resolution. So again, up to 4K 60 in ProRes for your hero shot, but then also being able to record an HD 60p proxy file, which you can get your picture lock in. The other thing is with dual recording on the the Ninja Ultra and the Shogun Ultra, is you get matched camera file names. So the other way that you can think about doing a dual record is by actually just recording locally to your camera to, its CF Express card, SD card, whatever kind of card goes locally in the camera. You can record your high res file there, and then you can record your proxy file on the Ninja Ultra or the Ninja Shogun. And then in that case, what those devices will do is they will match the names of the files. So when you export both the SD card from your camera and the SSD from your Ultra device, you plug it into your computer, they're going to have the same name. So it's going to be much easier to match your proxy files with your hero files. And this is going to simplify your editing process even further. The other added benefit is, again, when you're using the camera to cloud features, so if you have either the Shogun Ultra, which has the Atomos Connect built in, or if you're using a Ninja Ultra with an Atomos Connect device, you get all these camera to cloud features. So being able to stream directly to a CDN or sending files directly to Frame.io to be able to have your proxy files be anywhere to be able to make that editing process that much quicker. So the way that I like to explain it is, if you're shooting a commercial in California, but your main headquarters is in New York, you can, instead of having to wait until all the way at the end of the shoot and then flying all the way back to New York to be able to start editing, what you can do with the Connect devices is you can send a proxy file up to the cloud. And now, even though you're still in California, your editors in New York can start accessing those cloud proxy files to at least start getting that picture lock in place. Well, with the Ultra devices, you're able to send a proxy file that's at 4K 60 using H.265, which is going to be a much smaller amount of space that it takes up, but still giving you a really good quality. And what Atomos is saying is basically that proxy file, as long as you don't want to do any major coloring, is going to be good enough to immediately post to your social media feeds, whether it's Facebook or YouTube or Instagram or anything like that. You don't really need to wait for the high res, because on a social media platform, let's face it, most people are only watching video at 1080p anyway, but now you still get that 4K quality in an HEVC format. Lastly, I wanted to talk about the connectivity. So again, we're talking about being able to use not only camera to cloud features or camera directly to a streaming CDN destination, but you also, with the Connect devices, you have the ability to use NDI. Now, if you didn't know that, with the NDI features on the Atomos Shogun Ultra, and Ninja Ultra, as long as you have the Atomos Connect module, you are able to either encode a video signal from baseband directly from your camera to NDI to get that feed on your network wirelessly, or with the Wi-Fi Ethernet port on the back of these devices, or you can decode a video file that is on your network, and you can decode it back down to a monitor. So let's say your director wants to watch something. You can do both of those things on both the base models and the Ultra models, but with the Ultra models, you will be able to take full advantage of NDI6, which was just announced a couple months ago. And with that, being able to have HDR video files be sent onto your network with NDI. And that is a big deal in the world of, a lot of people that are using NDI in their workflows, I would say are, that prosumer level. But now when you're talking about having HDR in your NDI, this is when you are able to start taking that to the next level and get into the broadcast space. And for these devices to right out of the box be able to take full advantage of NDI6, that is definitely worth it if you're going to be using an NDI workflow. Now, we did a lot talking about the benefits of going with a Ninja Ultra or a Shogun Ultra, talking about their promo, but Atomos really does have, especially with everything that they've announced in the past year or so, Atomos has a product for really every workflow from small to big. So we're going to talk about the Ninja Phone, we're going to talk about the Shinobi 2, we're going to talk about the Shogun Classic, and we're going to talk about the Sun Dragon, and then we're going to talk about a couple more things that have been around for a little while. So starting it off right away with the Ninja Phone. The Ninja Phone is actually this device right here. And what this allows you to do is it allows you to turn your iPhone 15 or 16 Pro or your iPhone 15 or 16 Pro Max into a Ninja, which is something that is really, really cool and gives you the power to do what you want. So you get all of the added benefits of a Ninja, but now it's on your phone. And so you get things like focus peaking. You get the ability to have frame guidelines if you know that this is going to be going on social media and you want it to be a square aspect ratio. Put those frame guidelines on the Ninja Phone. And then you also get all of the exposure benefits too, with waveforms, zebras, false color, histograms. All of that great stuff is now going to be accessible on your phone. All you need to do is purchase the Ninja Phone and then download the Ninja app onto your iPhone, and Bob's your uncle. Now you get all of those added benefits of the Ninja and being able to record locally directly to your phone. The other thing is you can take advantage of your phone's Wi-Fi or data connectivity to be able to do, again, camera to cloud with Frame.io, being able to send your video feed directly to a CDN of your choice, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram. You can live stream directly from your phone, and you're not just using your phone's camera. You're able to use a nice high quality camera to be able to do that. So Ninja Phone is very, very, very cool. The Shinobi 2 was also announced a couple months ago, and the Shinobi 2 is not a recorder. This is just a monitor. Not everybody needs to be able to record at 8K or 6K. Some don't even need to be able to record at 4K. You want to be able to record on your camera, because a lot of the times the memory cards are still good enough. But you want to be able to have a much bigger screen to be able to see what your camera is seeing. A lot of the cameras on the market have a 1-inch screen, maybe a 2-inch screen. So being able to put everything on a 5-inch screen is going to make it much easier for your composition, your framings. The other cool thing about the Shinobi 2 is you still get your waveforms and all of that stuff to make sure your exposure is good, but the coolest feature, in my opinion, is what you can do with the USB-C. Now, there's 3 really cool things that you can do with the USB-C on the Shinobi 2. The first one being you can charge your camera from the Shinobi. And that's kind of 2, because what you can do is you can use the battery eliminator, and now you are both powering your Shinobi, your screen, and you can also power your camera off of that, and you basically have unlimited power. The other thing is, if you did use, one of the 5200 milliamp batteries on the Shinobi, you can still use the power from the Shinobi's battery to power your camera. So that's 2 really cool things. The other thing is you can actually control certain cameras from the Shinobi 2's touchscreen. So if we go back to, getting a little ahead of myself there. If we go back to this picture and we bring it back up full screen, as you can see on the bottom of the Shinobi screen there, you can see the white balance, you can see the shutter speed, you can see the aperture, you can see the ISO, and all from the touch of the Shinobi's touchscreen, you can change all of those color and exposure settings on your camera directly through the USB-C. Now that's something that's pretty cool in my book. Instead of having to fiddle through all of the buttons on your camera, just being able to quickly tap the screen, make your shot a little brighter or a little bit darker, is very cool. At IBC, I did watch a video of Jeremy at IBC, and he was saying that they are constantly updating the list of compatible cameras with that USB-C functionality for control. So definitely make sure that you check out Atomos' website for cameras that are compatible with the USB-C connected to the Shinobi 2. Now, speaking of IBC, at IBC, the Shogun Classic was announced. Now, back in the day, before the Shogun Connect, the Shogun, and the Shogun Ultra, the original Shogun was a 4-channel SDI mixer recorder. And when they came out with the new Shoguns, they got rid of the SDI, the multiple inputs with the SDI, and substituted it with all of the cloud features. And they listened to the community and saw that people wanted that feature back. So now they have the Shogun Classic, which will be coming out very, very soon. And that gives you the ability to do that again. Now you have 4 SDI ports on the back of the system. So you're able to record 4K ISOs. You're able to switch between ISOs. You can record a main program feed as well, and you can switch between up to those 4 channels, and you can get that main program feed plus the 4 ISO recordings, all recording simultaneously. So this gives you the flexibility to be able to, again, record and mix from the Shogun Classic. And it's still a 7-inch screen, extremely bright, 4K screen to make sure that everything is nice and crisp in focus. Yeah. Last thing that I want to talk about in terms of their new products is the Sun Dragon. Now, the Sun Dragon was being shown off again at IBC. And if you don't know what the Sun Dragon is, it's Atomos' first light on the market. The way that Jeremy explained it to me, it made perfect sense. And basically he said, people rely on Atomos' screens to make sure that their color accuracy is as accurate as it can be. Why not take that knowledge of LEDs and color spaces and turn that into a light? They already know how to make these colors be true to what they should be. So now why not be able to convert that into a light? But they didn't just make it so these lights are extremely accurate. They also made it so they're extremely flexible. The light is, if I remember correctly, it's 15 feet long, and it's this very flexible tube, so you can shape it around a whole bunch of different items. You can put it on the floor, you can wrap it around a motorcycle, for example, or what you can also do is you can coil it all up into one tight light, put it into a box with a softbox on it, and now you have one giant light that is essentially a 2K light that is an entirely RGB accurate light. So something that is very cool, and that is also coming soon. So definitely make sure to check out our website for the latest and greatest information on the Sun Dragon. Now, Atomos has launched a ton of new products in the past year or so, which is great, but they also still have other devices that have been around for a little bit longer. Starting off with the Atomos Zato. Now, the Atomos Zato is kind of similar to the Shinobi 2 in that it is a 5-inch monitor. You still get your focus peaking and all of that stuff. But what the Zato does is it gives you the added benefit of the Connect feature. So you're able to stream directly to a CDN from your Zato. And then you're also able to do the camera to cloud with Frame.io to be able to send proxy files up to the cloud. Unlike the Shinobi, though, it does have an SD card slot on on the side of it, and that allows you to be able to record H.264 files. So you can record to the Zato, although it's not going to be, it's not going to be ProRes or RAW or anything like that, but you can still record with it. So that's something that's very cool. Next, I want to talk about the Shogun Studio 2. The Shogun Studio 2 has been around for a while, but it is still great. The Shogun Studio 2 is a device that allows you to record up to 8 1080 60p streams via SDI, or 2 channels of 4K 60p streams. So this is going to be if you're shooting like a TV show or something that has a lot of cameras and you want to be able to record a lot of those cameras all simultaneously, the Shogun Studio 2 is the way to go. Probably most noticeably, relatively recently, Mr. Beast put out a video saying that he was using something like 25 of the Shogun Studio 2s to be able to record all of his cameras in one of his challenges. So that is something that is, extremely practical to this day, really. So again, you can be able to record HDR camera inputs. You can have up to 8 channels at 1080 60p or 2 channels at 4K. And as you can see in this picture here from Mr. Beast, you are able to rack mount these. And I didn't even notice until just now, pretty cool feature. If you look on the top of those racks there, you can see an Atomos Sumo SE, Atomos Sumo 19 SE, which is the last product that I wanted to talk about. If you know us here at Videoguys, we have explained how our workflow works plenty of times, and what we use as a confidence monitor is an Atomos Sumo 19 SE. This is very similar to the Shogun Classic. It's a 4-channel SDI monitor, but instead of being 7 inches, it's 19 inches. And this is great for using in confidence monitoring, and also for being able to record multiple channels all at once. Again, you get 4 ISOs with the SDI ports on the back of it. You can record up to 6K in ProRes RAW, and you can also do live switching. In our studio, what we do is we take our main program feed out of our TriCaster, and we actually run an SDI cable from our TriCaster into our Sumo 19 SE, and then we're using that for dual purposes. I get a nice big 19-inch confidence monitor right over my main camera here, so if I look at the monitor, it's not too far away from the camera, and also we are able to record our main program feed. The reason that we do that is to have a backup. Of course, the TriCaster is able to record, but we want to have a backup, so we use that as a dual purpose with our 19-inch, our Sumo 19 SE. So I know that is a lot of new stuff that is coming from Atomos. And if you, again, have any questions about anything that we talked about over this show, leave a comment down below or give us a call at 800-323-2325. We will be live next Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern, so make sure to subscribe to us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and follow us on Facebook. And we'll see you next week. Peace.
Videoguys is available Monday through Friday. Give us a call at 1-800-323-2325. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram to stay connected with all of our updates. And you can like us on Facebook. Keep an eye out for our live videos, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.